Hello everybody and welcome back to the Chassis Variant series of myself, Critical Rocket, and here we are with our first of the Innisphere mediums. We've got the little Cicada, and this is one of the oldest mechs in MechWarrior Online. It's been around for quite some time, and I think it's really a testament to its endurance as a sort of hybrids, basically, because that's what we have to look at. With 40 tons, it's kind of... A lot of people usually refer to Cicadas as light mechs because of their speed and relative fragility, but I guess it's kind of a rule of thumb that the mech that's only 5 ton up is usually a hybrid. You know, you're looking at 60 tonners being the hybrid of medium and heavy, and then 80 tonners that kind of setup. And that's what this is perfectly. The Cicada has been a great recon scout mech that's had slightly more armor and slightly better weaponry, but it's not that much better, and so, you know, in a fight with a 35 tonner for instance, it's still going to have a tough time. The Cicada in MechWarrior Online has always been one of those enduring designs because it's benefited greatly from things like, in some cases, hardpoint inflation, but also the fact that it's been useful as a zombie mech for many years in the game. Its fact that its arms are usually superfluous, which means they make great shields. The mech has always been incredibly fast, relatively difficult to hit, not compared to some of the smaller lights, but its speed and its unusual design means it generally has pretty good hitboxes. It's also one of the few battle mechs out there that isn't a humanoid design, and thus it's a little more interesting visually. I've always enjoyed running the old Cicada, and this one we're looking at is one of the later models that wasn't included. It's the 3G model. This is basically a advanced version of the F. If you remember, the free F was added to the game as part of an update a couple of years back in MWO, where they gave us a very agile, jump-capable Cicada with the ER PPC. Essentially, this removes the ER PPC and the jump jets, and gives us an ER large, and retains the medium lasers and a beagle probe. So it turns it back into a very fast scout mech, essentially, with less heat generation but the same kind of ranged punch. Obviously it's not going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage anytime soon, but it does at least give you the ability to use it to scout targets and you know, tickle bigger mechs at range, basically harass, and make those assault players and heavy players turn around, get maybe split up trying to chase you. You are a perfect squirrel with this mech. It's just slapping a big XL engine because it works on these things. You don't have to worry about side torso death as often with these. And yeah, just run around and cause as much chaos as humanly possible. I've always really enjoyed it for that reason. There isn't a hell of a lot of actual BattleTech history behind it, outside of the fact that the mech is as I said, an evolution of the 3F, the F being built for the clan front, and the G here is a post-clan invasion design, 3056 specifically, which means it was probably adapted for the garrison duties, watching the front line, probably counteracting clan raiding parties, because one of the things that happened post-2Kid was, although the clans would abide by the agreement that they had made with the comm guards, they still wanted the ability to keep their troops ready for the next glorious invasion, which would never happen. And one of the things they used to do is they would send raiding parties, essentially, although I think they dressed them up with a different name. They didn't refer to them as raiders, because I guess the clans would feel that was beneath them. But it would be an excuse for them to send some of their forces onto an Innisphere world, and they would engage in combat with the Innisphere defenders, and so it was a good way for them to learn tactics of the Innisphere, also to basically gather intel on any enemy developments, new mechs and vehicles, that kind of thing. And so the Cicada was one of those designs that was, well, this version, the 3G, was designed to help with recon duty against these very raiding units. So, yeah, this is the reason why it has the beagle probe, because it's useful for being able to detect some of the clan scouts, and also being able to use the terrain to hide, but also detect enemy movement, that kind of thing. And the ER large means it can sort of trade with clan mechs. Obviously, clan advantage with range is one of the biggest problems that Innisphere mechs would have, so an ER large laser at the time was one of the best ways of being able to stay at a a healthy distance most of the time and allow it to extricate itself back to the safety of the rear line for the Cicada. So I'd recommend it as a mech, maybe not this variant. Obviously it's not got the best punch. Some of the things you can do with Cicadas, because they've got a lot of hard points out there, 6 on the 2A for instance, means that you can create some pretty nasty pulse builds, ER laser builds, that kind of thing these days. Especially with things with light fusion engines as well. If you are a bit wary of using XLs, light fusion is a good alternative. Means you can build some very powerful alpha striking builds with the Cicada, and combined with its speed, it means that you can just jump in, smack something very hard, and then switch to another firing position and pick another target. This 3G model it's okay, obviously. Compared to the 3F, it doesn't have that same ER PPC punch. On tabletop, both mechs are pretty good, but in MechWarrior Online, I think most people actually prefer having the jump capability and the fact that they can basically pop-tart, jump snipe, that kind of thing. So yes, it's interesting. I like this one is more interesting because of the actual background of the mech, more so than the in-game properties. I wouldn't really recommend building this one. It's interesting to run around with it. I think it's the only Cicada to have ever been built with an ER large in mind. Most of them, as development went on, focused on having one single heavy weapon, and would then have some smaller backup weapons, whereas this one wanted, I guess, played a slightly different role. If you remember, the original Cicada was a couple of medium lasers and I believe a small... Oh yeah, I went to third person in this one at the end, and that's my pirate paint scheme, which I did this ages ago. I think it's when the Raider camo scheme first came out in MechWarrior Online. I really wish that they'd do more of these kind of things, just theme them. Even just having a Marek themed one. I don't mean having a Marek unit themed one, just one that's a couple more that are themed around the different houses or specific units, even if they can't make them exactly. It would be nice, just give us a bit more choice, really. But they seem to have stopped with camo schemes. I think they stopped a long time ago. I doubt we're ever going to see any new ones. So the best you get is, hey, it's a new pack, we're going to give you the polygon scheme. Hooray! Hey, all my mechs have got the polygon scheme now. Woohoo! So yeah, that's that one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.